Hey guys, welcome back to Fire Creek Forge, where you will find plenty of awesome content on knife making, bladesmithing, and blacksmithing to inspire you in your shop, or if you're a knife aficionado, collector, or enthusiast, gives you insight on how this is done and different cool things about the craft. Today's tip of the day, epoxy squeezing out from your knife handle scales. What do you do about it? So when you install knife handle scales, or even on like a hidden tang where you have handle material butting up against steel, and you're using epoxy in the construction, which of course is pretty much standard, you're gonna have epoxy squeezing out from between those two pieces, whatever the configuration might be. Of course, it doesn't really matter in the case of a full tang when it's down around the perimeter of the handle, but where it does matter is where it squeezes out between the scale and the finished tang right up there in the Ricasso area. That's a problem, because if you leave that epoxy there and try to get it off after the fact, any kind of finish you have on your tang or blade at that point, very easily, pretty much for sure, is going to be marred, and you won't be able to get that epoxy out in a clean manner anyway. So what do you do about that? Well, this tip of the day was inspired by a viewer who had a comment concerning that. And I responded that you have to wipe that off before it cures, which is true, but he was still having trouble with it. So let me go into a little more depth. I actually just put this knife together, this handle on, so this is actually perfect timing. Let me show you exactly what I do. First, I get a clean rag, pretty clean anyway, soft cotton cloth. You don't want any dirt, grit, grime in there in the cloth. That's why I say clean. I'll then take my trusty WD-40 bottle here, because I buy it by the gallon, spray a little on there, and even while there's a significant bead of epoxy coming out from between the scale and the tang, all I will do is take this little cloth right here and wipe that out. And I can't really do it while I'm holding the camera. I've already actually done it, but you really pinch that cloth, that fabric down in there to get into that, right down into that angle, which is about a 90-degree angle right there at the tang. Get that epoxy out, okay? And once your bolts are snugged up, or if you have clamps on your scales, if you're using pins, there's no danger of these scales pulling off, pulling apart. And so you can actually get in there and make sure that's wiped all the way out. After I do that, I will come back with a little squirt of WD-40, and you can see that bead of WD-40 just run across there. And that helps keep any additional seepage from really coming out. And even if it does, it doesn't allow it to actually bond in any significant way to the steel, and you can get it off, if need be, much easier than you would otherwise be able to with just like basically like a toothpick, or a brass version of a toothpick, something like that, if you have to. But if you're careful and you snugged up your scales or your handle assembly, use this rag, wipe that out real nicely, and then go ahead and put your WD-40 on there. You usually won't have any problems. Now, sometimes you need to come back and check it after about 15 minutes. If you're using the 30-minute epoxy, a little bit more can seep out, but it's still going to be soft enough, and you've got that WD-40 on there, you can go ahead and take that out pretty easily. So that's what I do. I've used like a 30-weight oil on there before to do the same thing instead of WD-40. Works about the same. All right, guys, thanks for watching this tip of the day on Fire Creek Forge. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next video.